This is a world where money has no value. Here, time is everything. If you want to buy something, you have to give some of your life's time in exchange for that thing. Only then can you buy it. But in this world, to live a good life, you must also have time. Because here, when a person reaches the age of 25, a one-year timer starts on their arm. The moment the countdown reaches 0, that person dies. The rich had so much time that they could live for 1,000 years. The rich had created a separate world for themselves where they were living a peaceful life. But on the other hand, in the ghetto city, poor people worked day and night to earn time for themselves. Otherwise, their lives would end. In that poor neighborhood, there lived a boy named Will. There were only 23 hours left on his clock. Will lived with his mom, and since age stops after 25, his mother looked very young even though she was 50 years old. Today was Will's mom's 50th birthday. To celebrate her birthday, Will had worked overtime the previous night and bought a bottle of champagne. Seeing this, Will's mom became very happy and said to Will, "I want to see my grandchildren. Why don't you date a girl?" Will replied, "Who has time for all that?" Will's mom told him that she had to clear the electricity bill and the loan taken from the bank by tomorrow, otherwise they would be fined. "So I am going now, and by tomorrow night I will pay all the bills and bank loans and come back. I only have 3 days of time. Almost all of my time will be spent paying the electricity bill and bank loan. So tomorrow evening, make sure you wait for me at the bus stop so that before my time runs out, I can take some time from you." Will said, "Okay, I will reach on time." Before leaving, Will's mom touched his hand and transferred 30 minutes into his body so that he could buy and eat a good breakfast. After that, both of them left for their work. On the way, a little girl came to Will. She gave him a capsule and asked him for a little time. Will gave 5 minutes of his life into the capsule and she left. Here we find out that people can store their time in capsules, which they can use and transfer any time. After that, Will reached the factory for work. Before starting work, he went to get coffee. But there he saw that the price of everything had doubled. Earlier, coffee cost 2 minutes, but now its price had doubled to 4 minutes. Here, prices of anything can be increased at any time without any announcement. This made Will feel very bad. Helplessly, he paid 4 minutes of his life for coffee and went to work. After a full day of work, at night, Will went to a bar with his friend. Will's friend was a complete drunkard. He was always drunk. Will's friend gestured to him that a man was giving free drinks to everyone, and he had a lot of time. Hearing this, when Will looked at that man, he saw that girls had surrounded him. When Will looked at the man's clock, he had 116 years of time. Seeing this, Will understood that this man was from Greenwich City because in the ghetto city people had at most 2 days of time. Will went to that man and warned him that he should not be there. "There is danger of thieves here. They will kill you and steal your time, so leave quickly." But the man did not take Will seriously and kept drinking. Just then, a gangster named Fortis entered the bar with his group. Seeing him, everyone ran out. They were the biggest goons of the city who forcibly stole people's time. Will's friend grabbed him to leave, but Will refused and hid in a corner to watch everything. Fortis had come to loot all the time from the rich man. Fortis challenged the rich man to an arm wrestling match, and whoever lost would give all his time to the winner. This time fight was like arm wrestling. 2 people had to hold each other's wrists. Whoever's wrist went down, his time would decrease and transfer into the body of the one whose wrist was up. In this way, the winner would store all the other person's time and kill him. Fortis asked, "Are you ready?" The rich man said he had drunk too much and needed some time to prepare. Fortis agreed and sent one of his men with him so he wouldn't escape. The rich man went to the bathroom and started vomiting because he was heavily drunk. If he had fought in that condition, he would definitely lose. At that moment, Will arrived. He knocked out Fortis's man and took the rich man away to a safe place. Will said, "I told you your life was in danger. Why are you wasting your time?" The man introduced himself as Henry and asked Will his age. Will said, 28. Henry said, "I am 105 years old, and I am tired of life. I have enjoyed everything. I don't want to live anymore." Will was shocked. Henry said, "Have you ever wondered why there are different time zones? Why prices and taxes are increased any time in your ghetto zone? Inflation is increased deliberately so poor people keep dying, and their deaths benefit the rich in Greenwich. This entire system is created by them. In Greenwich, people have thousands of years to live, while here in the ghetto, you struggle daily just to survive. They don't want to give you more time, so you keep working for them. They increase inflation, so you are forced to spend more time, so they can live forever from your time. I don't want to live a life built on the deaths of poor people." Will understood Henry was a good man. Henry asked, "If you had as much time as I do, what would you do?" Will smiled and said, "First, I would stop looking at my clock again and again." At that moment, Will had only 18 hours left. He constantly checked his clock out of fear. "If I had that much time, I would buy a house in Greenwich for my mom and live happily." They decided to stay the night. In the morning, Henry transferred all his time to Will, leaving only a few minutes for himself. He wrote, "Don't waste my time," and went to sit on a bridge. When Will woke up, he saw 116 years added to his clock. Shocked, he ran to Henry, but it was too late. Henry's time reached 0 and he fell from the bridge and died. Will was devastated. Now he had 116 years. He gave 10 years to his friend and left for Greenwich City after waiting for his mom at the bus stop. Meanwhile, his mother couldn't afford the doubled bus fare. She ran toward him, but her time ran out just as she reached him. She died in his arms. Timekeepers, who acted like police, investigated Henry's death. Officer Raymond suspected Will after seeing CCTV footage. Will went to Greenwich, saw the rich lifestyle, and gambled in a casino. He won 1,100 years from a wealthy man named Philippe, who owned a time bank. Philippe's daughter Sylvia was impressed and invited Will to a party. At the party, Raymond arrested Will, accusing him of killing Henry. Will escaped, taking Sylvia hostage. Eventually, Sylvia learned the truth about the corrupt system run by her father. Together, Will and Sylvia began robbing time banks and distributing time to the poor. The government put a 10-year bounty on them. Fortis confronted Will again in a time fight. At the last second, Will defeated and killed him. But the rich increased inflation again, making the distributed time worthless. Will and Sylvia stole a capsule containing 1 million years from Philippe's vault and distributed it in the ghetto, making people effectively immortal. Raymond chased them but ran out of time and died. In the end, Will barely saved Sylvia by transferring time at the last second, similar to how he had failed to save his mother. Because of them, the people of Dayton became immortal and no longer needed to work in factories for hours of survival. They moved toward Greenwich, collapsing the riches system. And with that, the story ends.